These are the plaintiffs, Gerard and Josephine Maury. Josephine says she hired the defendant, a DJ, for their wedding day party, and the slackjaw messed things up big time. He didn't pay attention to any of the meticulous details they went over beforehand. Her special and meaningful day was ruined, and they want their $1,300 returned immediately. This is the defendant, Jason. He says he's been in the wedding business for 19 years, so he knows a thing or two about dealing with brides on their big day, thank you very much. This bride, however, sent the police to his house 2 hours before he was scheduled to be at a reception, scaring the bejesus out of his daughter who was home at the time. Bottom line, this plaintiff is a bridezilla. He earned his $1,300 and he's keeping it. He's accused of being a wedding wrecker.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Gerard and Josephine Maury?
Yes, good morning.
You are suing Jason. You've asked us not to mention the last name or the name of your company. Jason's company, you're the owner, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, for $1,300, the amount that you paid him for his DJ services at your wedding, because according to you, he didn't earn a penny of it. Tell me what's going on.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. We had contracted Jason to provide us with our DJ services for our wedding last August. Unfortunately, things did not turn out well on our wedding day. Prior to, and it's a great practice, Jason has the brides or grooms come in and fill out a packet, which I believe, I have a copy of that. Outlining any special announcements, anything traditional, anything extra that you want at your wedding to make your wedding special. So I had written it all down in the packet, and in addition to that, we had met prior to the wedding, and we sat down and went in specific detail about each and everything.
Like what?
For example, I had chosen to honor my husband's parents who are no longer with us. We chose Moonlight Serenade as our wedding song. And then I, in addition, chose another song by Helen Reddy called You're My Home. And I had emailed him, I believe you have a copy of that, asked him if he could find it. It's not too easy to find. And he came up with the idea, well, instead of doing it right after your first dance, how about if we do it after the cake cutting ceremony? And unfortunately, right after Moonlight Serenade, everybody left the dance floor. And my husband goes to sit down and the special song came on. And I was like, wait, it's not supposed to play now. He actually had to stop and start the song over, which he announced. So I'm going to start this song over because it deserves you to dance to it in its entirety.
All right, so now, what else did he do wrong that would make him refund every penny you paid him?
He showed up late.
How did he show up late?
The reception was supposed to start at 4 o'clock immediately following.
The contract he's handing me says 5, and the contract you're handing me says 5, and someone has crossed out the 5 and put a 4, and nobody's initialed this.
Well, the copy that we gave you, I don't know what you're referring to with his copy. I haven't seen it. Is, for lack of a better word, the sloppy copy. When we met with him on August 1st, we were filling things out and editing and changing things.
Well, this is important because you're saying,
yes,
Judge, he breached the contract by showing up an hour late.
Yes.
But in both contracts, it says 5. And what you've got is you've crossed out 5 and put in 4 after the fact. He doesn't have anything that says 4. So if everything says 5 o'clock, how did he show up late? Let's just go by the contract that says 5. You sent the police to his house?
And yes, actually we did.
You sent the police to his house at what time?
About 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock for a contract that says 5? Who do you know in the police department that would send cops out to a DJ's house at 2 who's supposed to be there at 5? What city are you from? What city?
Berkeley Township.
Where?
Berkeley Township, down at the Jersey
Are there
Shore.
absolutely no crimes in Berkeley Township?
Yes, there are, Your Honor.
That would. Yep. Then why are the police going to get your DJ because he's not 3 hours early to your wedding?
A well-being check.
Huh?
A well-being check. Because he had promised us.
You tell the police that you're worried he's had a coronary because it's 2 o'clock on a contract that you have that says 5. You tell him, I think something may have happened to our DJ.
Yes.
He may be dead. You need to go there and check out. Who's the daughter? Step on up, sweetheart. So you're at the house. Is your dad there?
At this time, no.
So the police come to your house, and what do you think?
I thought something bad had happened to him. I thought, did he get into a car accident on the way there? Did something bad happen to him?
Okay, so you were at a previous party.
I got a phone call from the police officer on the phone. First thing, I was alarmed. He goes, this is Berkeley Township Police. I'm like, Yes. He's like, well, where are you? I'm like,
Do you know somebody in the police department?
Yes, Your Honor.
Of course you do. Why aren't you honest with me? Because that colors to me the rest of your testimony.
I am being honest with you.
I asked you why it is that they went, and the real answer is because you've got a friend in the police department. Who's your friend in the police department?
I'm retired from the police department.
Oh, you yourself are retired from the police department. Now we understand why the police are banging his door at 2 o'clock when you have to be there at 5. Okay, when you get there, what happens?
so I get there, my DJ, which I have his testimony, was there. I called him up and said, get there now. Obviously something's going on. So when I get there, he states that the best man, this is what gets interesting now. So the best man is about 6'2", I would say 275 pounds. Yelling at the DJ at this point and saying, we're going to sue you.
Do you have an affidavit from him? What were you grabbing?
Yes,
Let me see the affidavit.
Absolutely. So the DJ gets there, and when I arrive, the DJ's told me the best man is upset and he's angry and he's going.
Who is your best man? And I don't need his name. I'm saying, who is he to you? A friend? Or?
Yes, friend. Yes.
Okay.
So
is he a former cop too?
Yes.
Is he a present cop?
Yes, he is.
Okay. When I arrived, the best man came up to me and said, you guys are extremely late. He also stated he had called the Berkeley Township Police to search for Jason. He vows to sue Jason for being late. The manner in which he spoke to me was very rude and boisterous. When does the best man tell you he was there and he's having these arguments with him? What time?
What happened was we were outside taking pictures, and that's when it happened.
Do you ever talk to the bride and groom to smooth it over?
Well, I couldn't because I had Lurch. Oh, the best man, I apologize. And again, this guy's in my face at this point, yelling in my face. Now I'm looking up like this gentleman. I'm like, oh my God, he's a monster.
What's he saying to you?
Well, he's saying that you're late and exactly this and get outside and blah, blah, blah. And
Wait, get outside and do what?
Well, I don't know, maybe a fist fight before the wedding? So I asked the gentleman, at this point, Amanda was there.
Were you a witness to this? Come on up, Amanda. Switch places with the daughter. Who are you, Amanda?
I'm his girlfriend. I'm also the executive secretary of the company.
How much older are you than his daughter?
We're about 6 years apart.
You and the daughter?
Yes.
How apart are you two?
10 years.
10 years or so.
So go on.
I came with him to the wedding to make sure everything was going to be okay. And when we went into the facility, the best man came up to him in a threatening manner and started yelling
What's
at him.
in a threatening manner? Just yelling, you're late, you're late?
He was right here and he was yelling in Jason's face and he was getting louder and louder and louder.
I kept stepping back.
Jason kept stepping back.
And going forward.
At that point, I stepped in between them because I'm like, you can't do this right before a wedding. Like this isn't good. The best man then said, I want to see the contract. I want to see the contract. Give me the contract.
So then you show him the contract. What's the best man say? Oops.
He goes, oh, I'll be right back.
Really?
He had said, don't move, like I was being arrested. Don't move. I'll be back.
And then don't move?
Oh, what am I going to do?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey 11 here. Is there too much pressure on brides to make a wedding perfect?
Yeah. It's that special day and you have to make sure that everything goes off without a hitch.
You married?
Yeah,
Did yours go perfectly?
it did.
Okay, lucky you. What do you think? Too much pressure?
It is, but it's all up to the bride and how much pressure you want to put on yourself, I think. I'm not married myself, but...
Yeah, but generally, too much pressure put on a bride when you plan it for a year.
You'll turn into a bridezilla.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I've been there.
And did you enjoy your wedding?
No, it was the most stressful day of my life. It was supposed to be the most beautiful day.
You see? Going inside the courtroom.
Well, did the best man bring you the contract and show you that it said 5?
No, he did not.
But you know the contract says 5, right? When did you realize that?
May I clarify that?
Just answer my question. When did you realize a contract said 5?
I guess when we got back from our honeymoon and looked at or the next day actually.
Okay.
Did it.
So, but you feel that there's more that goes wrong than just this late thing, that the evidence doesn't work too well in your favor. You say there's more that went wrong during the reception. You've told me about the song that was played out of order. What else went wrong?
When we had our first toast for the bride and groom, we didn't have an opportunity. I don't know if anybody was given the opportunity to get drinks in our hand. We're actually toasting with votive candles in our hand because we didn't have drinks.
Can I just ask you a question? How long were the toasts?
Traditional, we love you and let's toast.
Yeah.
No, that's not traditional. Traditional is they start telling some ragged stories about you, and it takes a few minutes. Well, how is it that no one is pouring you a drink? Because I would have gotten up and handed you my drink at that point. I just don't think that's a DJ's fault if you don't have a drink in your hand. But the coming an hour late would be. So I need to see the email, the text, the contract where he is committed to you to 4 o'clock. I see nothing.
Unfortunately, Your Honor, when we had the final meeting with him before the wedding at his office, That's when we said 4 o'clock, that the reception would begin.
Watch this. Did anybody ever tell you 4 o'clock?
No, ma'am.
Right. And then when we met with him at his office after the wedding, he couldn't produce the paperwork. He said he couldn't find it.
Okay. Anything else that you wanted to add?
Yes, I have a list, Your Honor. In addition to the song playing at the wrong time, we didn't have the blessing of the meal, and in which case my husband approached him about that because, again, our faith is very important to us.
And so why didn't you wait for a blessing?
What happened was that, again, before I started playing, the best man had instructed me, anything from this point forward, run it through me. And at this point, he did not get back to me. At this point, the buffet was open.
That makes no sense. You're making no sense. You got a lot of excuses for a guy. You know, that's kind of an important part. It's important to me too. It would be very important to me if the blessing didn't happen.
It's important to me also.
Yeah, well, okay.
Excuse me, Your
All
Honor.
right, what else is your complaint?
All right. My father, unfortunately, is no longer with us. And before he passed away, he had made a sign for me that said, "Live well, laugh often, love much." And in order to honor my father, Jason was supposed to ask everyone to please open up your favors, take out the candle that you believe you should live your life by. Should you live well, laugh often, or love much, and light it in memory of my father.
Is that in the?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Did that happen?
No, Your Honor, no.
At all?
No.
Okay. And why didn't that happen?
Again, I made the announcement, and the groom was nowhere to be found, so I didn't want to start something where he was not in the room.
What else is your complaint?
My husband and I did not get to have a last dance. I've never been to any event.
Did you not announce the last song?
At the end of the night, again, extremely hot. The groom was nowhere to be found, so I could not play their wedding song
Apparently, the groom didn't attend his wedding?
He was not to be found. We looked for him. So at the end of the night, I had said to her, "We're about to wrap it up."
Did he say to you,
No,
"I
Your
want
Honor,
to play
I
your
have
last
no
song"?
knowledge that I was dancing the last song of the night with a coworker. I would have preferred the last song be with my husband.
Did anybody say this is our last song during the song?
No.
Your Honor, that's not true at all. We would never do that.
Okay, here's the deal. Put your hands down. We're done. I'm ruling. Okay. This is really food for thought for any bride out there or anyone doing any contract, that if you're going to change something that is in writing between parties, do so in writing. As for the other things, I don't think it's my place to decide what I think is important or not to you, but it is my place to decide what is a material breach of a contract or not. I think a couple of these things are enough of a breach to warrant some money back, but certainly not what they're asking for. My verdict is going to be in favor of the plaintiffs in this case in the amount of $300. Judgment for the plaintiffs.
Your Honor.
So here they come out of the courtroom, the happy couple, and with $300 from your lawsuit is what you got out of that.
Yes, correct.
You satisfied how this comes out?
I'm a little disappointed in light of the fact that, we did have that pre-wedding where everything was completely outlined. Everybody understood at that meeting what was going to happen, and that, went by the wayside. You can't ever go back and get your wedding again. And
all right, well, how was the day? How was the big day?
We enjoyed it up until everything going wrong, which pretty much started from the moment that we had to try to find our DJ, which was difficult at best.
Should I say welcome to married life to him, or would that be wrong?
No.
Not the first time.
No. All right. Head right down this way. And, all right. So come on in here. Here comes the DJ. You're not the DJ, right?
No, I'm the MC. How are you?
The MC. Hey,
Yes, how are you?
All right.
Good.
Good. So take over and host this little hallway segment.
Okay, so make a long story short, we did the best we could to accommodate the bride and groom. I wish the bride and groom all the best of luck. And again, our company is about integrity and honesty, and we always do the best thing for our clients.
You did forget a few things at the.
Well, we didn't forget about it. It was
the event.
We didn't forget about it. Again, we were waiting for some guidance, a little bit of instructions with everybody else.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Harvey?
It's not always an all or nothing proposition when somebody breaches a contract. In this case, if the bride got some value out of the contract, which she did, you just apportion what she got versus what she didn't. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.